Today's the 13th of December 2011, and 30 years ago today the communist regime in Poland declared martial law, which brought to an end the period of when Solidarity was a free trade union and had certain amounts of freedoms, and the objective of martial law was theoretically to stop a Soviet invasion of Poland, something I personally do not subscribe to, but I know that around half the population of this country believes that there could have been a Soviet intervention, as had happened in '56 in Hungary, '68 in Czechoslovakia. Martial law was declared at midnight on between the 12th and 13th of September, and it led to the deaths of around 100 people, and tens of thousands were actually arrested. Some of them were actually interned until 1985. However, within 8 years, socialist regime actually fell. So, although that couldn't have been seen at the time, and the socialist regime did stand down voluntarily. I have to point that out because I'm a former Cold War warrior, very anti-communist, but we have to respect this. With hindsight and looking back, I think the events, certainly of 1970, were more dangerous than those that happened in 1981, although it may not have seemed so at the time. The socialist regime had completely failed to deliver on a planned economy where inflation got to 400%, there were shortages of just about everything, and the only way that things could be done was effectively on the black market. Now that is a planned economy, not a free market economy, a planned economy. Somebody planned it, and the logical thing here is that either the plan's wrong or that the person doing the plan may have some ulterior motive for keeping it in that way. And the socialist system was completely based on corruption. It was rotten, and it meant wealth for a very, very tiny amount of people, but poverty and effectively people doing useless work. Now today we've got these people here who have got the uniforms of the paramilitary police, ZOMO, which was used against the people who were rioting. There were a number of riots. I actually saw one myself, or saw more than one myself. The biggest one I saw was on the 31st of August 1982. Solidarity was suspended on the 13th of December 1981, but it wasn't made illegal until the 8th of October 1982. That was on a Friday. The following Monday, I was in Gdańsk, the shipyard. There was a strike. People had been given leaflets, or leaflets had been distributed, asking them, warning them to think of themselves and their family, and that even death was possible. People did not listen to these warnings, and the strike occurred after Solidarity was made illegal, and new supposed unions were formed in their place. And I was there. The next day I was asked if I might like to leave the country. Anyway, I came back, although I was unable to get a visa in London again. Or at least not until 1992 did I get a visa in London. And that was the last one, because after that they weren't needed any longer. So it's a really wonderful day today. This is really unlike Poland on the 13th of December. Superb, beautiful weather. It's like the beginning of November, I would say, more than anything else. It's absolutely wonderful. And today there's a march being put on by the opposition party Peace, who absolutely lives up to its name. And this march, which is supposedly about independence, is being turned on against the government. So it's more or less what you'd expect from these characters, of whom I have a very negative opinion, who are trying to abuse the memory of martial law and the deaths that occurred and the suffering that occurred in order to make their own silly nationalist point of view, which is anti-European Union and anti-Poland in my opinion. And there we have the street thing which has been set up. Now I can recall these being set up in communist times with the staff, the ZOMO, standing around them. Usually then there was plenty of snow though. Apparently last year in Warsaw they had these, I don't know what they're called, braziers, maybe that's not the word, sounds like a bra. They had these things were actually out in the streets, and although I wasn't here last winter, so I don't know. Good idea for keeping people warm. There's somebody driving where he shouldn't be driving. I must say that seeing these things here doesn't make me feel 30 years younger. And there's always this question, and lots of people say things were better under communism or something like that, because the reason is because you're younger, and I must admit, for me, seeing them, it's not, I don't have a feeling of fear or anything like that. More the point is, I wouldn't mind being 30 years younger myself. Of course, having what I have now, at the same time, would be nice. Now I'm going to get these two characters in here. Or handing out leaflets. I think we am.